Okay, this is the awards ceremony, and I want to welcome you to our fourth annual Gold Star Awards. As you know, this event is to recognise the best performing green businesses of the year 2013. So all of them were audited in 2013, and of course by now we can go through a process and decide a shortlist based upon the highest percentage awarded golds of that year. The process then involves contacting suppliers, customers, and looking at a personal submission to identify a winner. Having said all that, as you should know, you are all winners and should be rightly proud of your awards. As you will hear the stories of the winners, I think you will see that these awards represent the highest standards in sustainable development and that you really represent the cream in world tourism. So let's start with a round of applause, and let's make it a good one for all the award holders and for those shortlisted for the Gold Stars. I'm hoping for a few whoops as well, but we'll see how we go, you know. Great. Oh, you see, we've started. Right, good. Let's keep it fun. Right. So it is supposed to be a fun event. I mean, the Gold Star is the accreditation level. The Gold is an accreditation level. The Gold Star is really a chance for us to meet with each other. It's a chance for us to share what we're doing, our stories, network. It's a little bit, we might say, it's a bit like the Michelin stars, but for sustainable best practice. And I do think it's at that standard. It really is a high standard. And as one of the judges, it's been a very difficult and inspiring process to review what you've done. I think you know, apart from Gannett's, you are my inspiration. You're the ones that make us work so hard in green tourism, because every day when we go out and we meet you guys, we are inspired and we learn and we try and share that knowledge and we build. And look what we're doing now. You know, we're building a good conference. I think we've had a good attendance. I think it's been a great event. We've got people, everyone from the likes of Satish through to the biggest suppliers like Kimberly-Clark and Triodos Bank and so on and so on. So, you know, I think, I sometimes, I can't believe that we managed to achieve this much, but we're going to do more as well. So that's great. Okay, in order just to give you a little bit of background, Duncan Bryden, if he could just wave himself, I know he's here. Yes, Duncan Bryden. Could we have a round of applause for Duncan? Duncan has been the chair of the judging panel. It's a tough job, and he's had to, stop a bit of fighting and all the discussions and all that sort of thing that goes on in the whole Gold Star, but we'll keep that quiet. We won't tell them about what goes on behind the scenes. Duncan is the chair of the Cairngorm National Park Planning Group, so he's very used to that sort of situation as well, I believe, having to make difficult and challenging decisions. He's been a great ally of green tourism, having helped us create the programme back in the 1990s. So without further ado, let me get on with the actual awards. It's going to take us... Good, okay. I'm getting a bit heckling now, eh? Okay, all right, that's fine. I can live with that. So we've got just about an hour and 20 minutes, is that right? An hour, right, we're moving, right, okay. So we're going to announce the awards. First of all, I'm going to announce the category, then the shortlist, which will appear. Natalie is doing that. Natalie, do you want to give us a wave? No? Yeah, there we are. She's our intern. She's been working for us for 6 months of a year's placement. Anyway, all right. Anyway, right, fine. Anyway, she's doing a great job and keeps me organised. So thank you, Natalie. I'll then announce the highly commended, who should please come forward to get a photograph with a certificate with Satish. And then we'll announce the Gold Star Awards, hopefully with whoops and cheers. And they should also come forward, and then we'll move on to the next award. While we do that, I'm going to try to give you a little flavour of what some of the businesses have done, just to tell you a little bit more about their stories, although I hope you've been talking to each other and finding out and sharing your stories with each other today anyway. There's 2 additional awards which we're going to present. There's the People's Choice Award. I hope you've all been voting. Just to let you know, the voting is now finished. Is that right? Yes, voting is finished, but you may still be charged. No, you won't be charged. Oh, were you charged? No, you weren't charged. Okay, we'll see. Well, look how good we are. Anyway, right. Last time I looked, there was 2 in the running, but we'll see where that ends up. I don't know who the winner is, so that's great. The other award, anyway, that we've got is the Extra Sausage Award. Now, yes, I know it all comes back, and it was a difficult time last year, wasn't it? Do you remember? Oh, anyway. But there was a B&B called the Adult Only B&B, and I mistook totally what they said about giving you an extra sausage for breakfast. So anyway, so we'll move on. Anyway, but we have the Extra Sausage Award, and that is a special award for someone who's gone the extra mile over the last year, even over the last 5 years. As we establish the Academy, we are going to recognise more of individuals and ambassadors, but this is a chance to start that ball rolling, so we're going to do that this year as well. Okay, on to the first category. Now, normally, visitor attractions, normally we do visitor attractions right at the end, but they represent a very significant part of our membership. There's a lot of visitor attractions here. If you're a visitor attraction, can you put your hands up? Yep, so we got a lot of visitor attractions. You are really important for green tourism. I don't think you recognise just how important you are. I did a little bit of research looking at all the information we get on the carbon calculator type thing, on actual data. And if we add it all up together, the visitor attractions make up more than 70 million visitor experiences per year. That's more than the population of the UK. So you are in contact with the most people and have the ability to make the most difference. So I think that's really important. So it's a great opportunity to share the value of going green and what green tourism is all about. I hope, and it is part of version 5, to encourage you to do even more to promote the local green tourism accommodation, and I think we need to build that synergy, because if people can do the nice thing like visit the wetland centre or see the cranes, hopefully they can go on and actually stay in an eco-friendly place. Right, anyway, museums. Going on to the Museum Award. We've got 2 museums, and there they are, shortlisted. 2 sites stood out, Horniman Museum in London and the Ironbridge Gorge. And the winner of the Highly Commended Award goes to the Horniman Museum. Could we have a round of applause for them? Could we have Lydia McDowell? Could you come forward, please? Great. I'll just tell you a few things about the Horniman Museum. They've got a great collection. They're very eclectic, very unusual. They have a great video on their website about behind the scenes, and they're collecting people's stories as part of the museum. So if it's true that your partner or any of your colleagues deserve to be put in a museum, Horniman's your place. So think about that. Andrea's actually planning to have me stuffed later on, so hopefully they're going to accept me. At the very least, maybe they'll take my moustache, so I don't know. But anyway, it's only going to be this year. I'm not going to do this next year. It's too much. Anyway, okay, I don't know if there's anything else I can say about them. They're based in London. They're worth a visit if you are in the London area. Okay, on to the winner of the first Gold Star for a museum. It goes to Ironbridge Gorge Museums. Please, could I ask Barbara Taylor and David Bates to come forward? Thanks. Just say, if you could walk in time to the music, that would be great. Just gives us a bit of fun. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's great. We've chosen funky music because we thought that was good for you guys. The Gorge, it's a gorgeous set of museums. I don't know if you know. Have anyone been to Ironbridge Gorge? Hands, yes, good. Well, a lot of you haven't, so you should definitely put it on your list. I visited there back, a few years ago. I went to visit Bliss Hill, which is a wonderful place. Everybody dresses up. They dress up like my old grandfather. They even wear bigger moustaches than mine, even the women. So it's certainly worth a visit. In actual fact, what I would say is they have an excellent sweet shop. I mean, if you go into their sweet shop, and it's just like, well, for me, the 1970s. And there you get all these wonderful different things, chocolate mice, all that kind of stuff. So it's wonderful. And they are a worthy winner, so that's great. They also do lots of good craft things which are participatory, so people can get involved in that. And they've moved up from a silver to a gold award. Okay, and now a gold star, so that's great. Okay, on to nature reserves. Yes, you're keeping ahead of me, that's good. Okay, here you can see the short list. As we've already heard, we have some of the best nature reserves and wildlife attractions in green tourism. And we do have some extraordinary wildlife in Britain, whether it's those Mancunian gannets in Nos, which are parts of green tourism, or it's the London Wetland Centre, another wonderful place, where you can do a thing called shoot the poo. I don't know if you've heard about that. Everything comes down to poo, doesn't it, Andrew, in terms of green tourism? It's all about the practicalities of how we deal with waste and so on and so on. But it's a very interesting place. You can even find really interesting information about fatbergs and other nasties that end up in the sewers anyway. But the highly commended award, that goes to WWT Welney. Please could Emma Brand and Peter come forward? Thank you. Just to give you a bit of background on WWT, WWT was set up by Peter Scott. He was probably the first real environmentalist and naturalist. He loved geese and swans, and he recognized they were being overhunted. In fact, he was one of the hunters, but anyway, he moved on from that. He founded WWT, but what you might not realize, he also founded the World Wildlife Fund, and he designed the panda logo. So it all comes from Sir Peter Scott. He did the first colour TV program on natural history some years ago, and he even gave the Loch Ness Monster a scientific name, but maybe that's not so much scientific. Anyway, right, okay, I won't say about that. Right, good. And the winner, anyway, of the Gold Star goes to the RSPB Lochleven. Please, can we have them come forward? This is Karen Caldwell from the RSPB. That's right, thank you. Just to give you a little bit of background on RSPB, 20% of their energy comes from a combination of wind turbines and solar power. What might interest you more, they have a stripper working for them. Just before you start getting visions, it's a phosphate stripper, okay? It takes the pollutants out of the wastewater before it goes into the loch, so that's great. They do a lot of good things for the community as well. It's their second Gold Star, and one of only 2 sites that have got 2 Gold Stars in green tourism, so that's great. So let's hope the RSPB do a good write-up on green tourism. They've only got 2 million readers, so that should help a bit. Okay, on to the other visitor attractions. Okay, this is a very hotly contested award. You can see some super visitor attractions there. We've got some great sites, historic houses, and even a glass-bottomed boat. Anyway, the highly commended goes to Ullswater Steamers. Could we please have Rachel Bell and Peter Hensman come forward? Great, yeah, please. Yeah. Now, this business has helped pioneer green tourism in Cumbria. They've been a great advocate and a great ambassador. They continue to innovate. They've just renovated their local pier, saving a predicted 65 tons of carbon dioxide. So that's the first 65 in our million ton goal. Customers are encouraged. The business has raised awareness from 18 to 64% on green tourism. They highlight a fishy tale about flooding and local salmon spawning, and they launched Explore Ullswater, which is a great idea, which they've done this year, which is a transport package which includes the bus, the train, and the boat. So it really does make for a wonderful green experience if you go to Cumbria. They're also planning to refit the Lady of the Lake, I believe, which will be exciting to see how much they reduce their carbon footprint with that. And that's the Lady of the Lake is one of their boats, so that's great. Okay, this year's winner goes to a business which also embeds sustainability into what they do. They have a very low carbon footprint, only 150 kilograms of CO2 per annum. They collect cooking oil from the local chippy to make it into their own biodiesel. They have a creepy, crawly spotting sheet for small creatures. They operate around 2 sea lochs in the northwest coast of Scotland, are based in Gairloch. Please come forward, Sea Life Glass Bottom Boat, Richard and Jill Holmes, to come and collect the Gold Star. Right. Few things you didn't know about them, about Gairloch and so on. There is apparently the Mermaid of Gairloch. Apparently she was caught in the 19th century, and she granted the boat builder a boon that his boat would never sink if he let her go. I'm not sure if this refers to the glass bottom boat, but we can say it is famous for something very unusual. It's slippery bottom. If you want, ask Richard about his slippery bottom. He'll be able to tell you all about it. Is it your brother? Oh, okay. Ask his brother. So you haven't got a slippery bottom? No. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Okay. So that joke's gone. Okay. Well, fair enough. Anyway, I'll tell you a little bit about it. A slippery bottom is actually like a Teflon coating which goes on the bottom of the boat. It's non-toxic. The previous products used, I think, lead and products like that. So it's a very eco-friendly product. So congratulations for that. Great. Okay, so we'll have to hope we see Richard another time. Okay, right, on to holiday parks and campsites. The highly commended goes to Jolly Days Glamping. Sadly, I don't think anyone here from Jolly Days. Have we lost a round of applause, did we? Okay, anyway. But they've not made it. It's not. Don't worry. They didn't hear you. They won't worry. They'll probably just email us now. They've seen it on the Twitter sphere or whatever. Anyway, the winner of the holiday parks goes to Dalbeer Park. Please, could Chris Cousins come forward? Thank you. Now, Dalbeer are one of the progressive holiday parks in green tourism. Just to give you some stats, I'll give you the boring stuff. 69 litres of water per overnight. CO2 consumption, less than 3 kilograms of CO2 per overnight. Those are very good figures and ones that really will help to move the industry forward and encourage others. They have an information centre, provide regular nature quiz. They do a lot of actions, and they do highlight activities and things you can do that limit car journeys. So providing information on visual attractions that are within 20 minutes drive and so on. So that's very good. Right, good, great. We're keeping going. Am I keeping to time, Andrea, or am I ahead of time? I'm all right, good, right, fine. Right, we're on to hostels. 3 shortlisted sites for hostels. There they go, great. Very green concept, and we've got some leading green tourism businesses in the hostels. The highly commended, that goes to Iona Hostel. Sadly, no one from Iona could make it, so, but they have been a member for over 10 years. They definitely deserve a medal. They've got an 8.25 kilowatt solar PV array. They've produced over 10,000 kilowatt hours of electricity. They've saved 1,508 kilowatt hours so far this year. They also sell honey under a croft name, Landorian Honey, and they've planted 1,000 trees since 2012, so they're very good. But there is a winner. And the winner this year of the Gold Star 2014 goes to New Ing Lodge. Now before you start looking around the room to wonder where they're coming from, they'd have a long way to come because they've not made it so far today. So we'll pass the award through to them as best we can. They have a 93% efficient biomass boiler. They use waste potash in their composting with tea and coffee. They have a great website. They helped set up the independent hostels of Cumbria, and they've now encouraged 2 other hostels to put in biomass boilers as well. So they've been a real good, strong advocate. So they're really great business. Okay, on to campus accommodation. Yes, we're still keeping things good. This is an area we plan to develop further, and we're looking to further relationships with the academic world. So the highly commended goes to Agnes Blackadder Hall together with Mackintosh Hall. Please, could we have a round of applause for Evelyn Parker, Carol Donaldson, Jane Stephen. Please come to collect your award. Both of them are part of St Andrews University. They've got some excellent figures. Blackadder has 27 solar hot water panels, high efficiency boilers. They have a BMS system. They do a program called Passport to Environmental Excellence. They've even done some chalk displays on the local pavement highlighting the carbon footprints that they've had. They do fair trade raffles. They have Friday green parties as well. They also source green electricity. I'm not sure if it's Good Energy. Where is the chap from Good Energy? Still here? No, he's not. Oh, he's gone. I was meant to introduce you. Sorry, Andrew. Okay, we'll catch him later. Okay, but there is a winner. And the winner of the Gold Star for campus accommodation goes to Storm Jameson Court, the University of Leeds. Please, could Mike Leonard please come forward? Chris Story as well. If Chris could come forward as well, that'd be great. Keeping up with the funky music, that's great. This site has an energy performance certificate of Band A, has a BREEAM rating of very good. 65% of food suppliers are within 40 miles, so they're definitely following the journey. The site achieves an excellent 95% recycling rate. What else do they have? They host the Green Gown Awards. That's what they've done this year. They have a team of NUS Green student auditors, and they've gained the NUS Green Impact Platinum standard. They also have provided 100 days of voluntary work to Yorkshire Wildlife Trust, so really super actions. Great, on to conference events and venues. Yes, it's up there, right. Another tough category, some outstanding participants, a growing area for green business. We're doing more work with conference and event venues. The highly commended goes to IET Glasgow Teaching Building. Please can we have a round of applause for Andrew Horsburgh and Fraser Richmond. I would say exactly. Great, another site with some great figures. The site has saved 78% of water consumption from 2010. Gas is down 36%, electricity 18%. I mean, it is sites like this and when you can start to get confident that we might achieve a 42% reduction by 2020. Innovation from IET, they did an offset with visitors to their stand, not just the carbon footprint of the stand, but actually the visitors to their stand. They did a carbon offsetting with that. They have daily green tips. They have a Healthy Living Award, and they've raised over £5,000 for doing the 3 Peak Challenge. They do organic eggs. I'm pleased with that, Satish, so that's great. And organic coffee and fair trade, so they're very good. But there's a winner. The winner this year is the Create Centre in Bristol. Please can we have a round of applause for them? This is Philip Tomlinson and Michelle Scotland. Could they come forward? Thank you. Some other more excellent savings. 15 tonnes of CO2 through insulation. Reduce their carbon per tenant from 1.24 tonnes to 0.64, so that's less than half. Water from 9 cubic metres down to 5 cubic metres. Recycling 73%. They have 4 electric charge points. They have a bike compound for 60 bikes. Organic cafe, fair trade, vegetarian and vegan. Satish, you'll be pleased with that. They do buffets for workshops. Did we ever get the figures on what we've done? We're going to talk about that, are we, at some point? The amount of waste? No, anyway, okay. And they host a cooking children's session, which is very popular. Cooking children? Okay. I think it must be children's cooking. I think that's what it is. Sorry, it's my mistake. Okay. They host lots of green events. They have the Bristol Seed Fair there, and of course Bristol is Europe's Green Capital of the Year 2014, so they're really, really good. They've also done something very interesting. Is it 2015? Oh, okay, I'm sorry, 2015, so that's great. So it's good that they've got an award now, ready for next year. They also accept a thing called the Bristol Pound. They've set up a program called the Bristol Pound, which if Alex Salmon had only heard that a few months ago, maybe it could have been also very different, but maybe that's my only political comment. I'm not going to say anything else. But we do have the Ringtons Pound here, don't we, today? Everybody's got £50 voucher in their pack, so yeah, we have a little bit of our own currency. Okay, moving swiftly on. Pubs and inns. Highly commended goes to a small pub out of the way in the country who've been with Green Tourism many years. They work with other green businesses, notably Wilderness Scotland and Rabbies, and are planning an electric hookup. The highly commended goes to Stein Inn. Can we have a round of applause for them? I think they'll be watching us from Skye. They're up in Skye, so it's a long way for them to come, but we will get their certificate across to them, so that'll be fine. So that's great. The winner, though, is the Miners Arms. Please, could Alison Clark join us? Walking challenge to the music. Come on, keep going. Do it. I like that bit of Manchester music. That's why I didn't want to say much. So anyway, but I'll tell you a little bit more about them. They've installed an electric charging station. They have rainwater harvesting. They work with Nurture Lakeland, who are a great organisation. They work with Visitor Payback. They've adopted the local public toilets. And what Alison has also managed to achieve is an outstanding individual award from CBEN. CBEN is the Cumbrian Environmental Award. It stands for Cumbrian Business and Environment Network, I think. So that's great. I think they're up for the Great British Pub Awards. Is that right? Are you up for that? Okay. Well, maybe you didn't know that, but I thought you were. I had a look. I had a look online. So, right. Have we managed? And we're halfway through now, Andrea. Am I still keeping to time? Yes. Good. Right. Good. See, you wouldn't believe the trouble I get into if I get this wrong. Well, I'm going to get into trouble anyway. So, right. Okay. Now we're going to take a little break. This is a nice picture of Canada. I thought you'd like to see it. As you know, we've been working with a partner in Canada. Over the last 3 years, we did a pilot back in 2010, and we're working with an organization called Green Step. Green Step are a super business. They have a committed team, and they're really trying to help and develop green tourism in Canada to not just hundreds, but maybe even thousands of businesses. They gave a video presentation last year, and we have quite a number of gold award winners now in Canada. So we thought this would be a good chance to have our first gold star for the best in Canada. And this is the shortlist. There we go. Now, flying to Canada is quite a carbon footprint. It's 6 tons of carbon. So I do recommend you go there because I think it is a beautiful place. But do make it one of those trips of a lifetime, and please go for a month. If you can go for a month, I think it's not too bad, is it, Ed? Hopefully Ed will maybe forgive us. Anyway, Vancouver and the mountains, they're beautiful. It's a wonderful space. You can enjoy the area. Lots of great walking. You do have to be careful of bears, however. There are a lot of bears there. And if you want to know more about that and those issues, I suggest you tackle Stuart Park there in the corner. He's my fellow assessor, and he was with me for a month, and he was helping me train the local team. So he did a great job. If you're really lucky, he might even tell you about his spirit animal. He has a spirit animal. We met this wonderful Native American. She took one look at Stuart and she knew exactly who he was and what he was. That was a place called, if you look it up, called Sasquatch Crossing. So a Sasquatch is the Bigfoot. Now, he isn't a Bigfoot, I'll tell you that. He has got big feet, but anyway, he's not a Bigfoot. Anyway, back to the awards. Okay, Maple Leaf Adventures gets the highly commended. Could we have a round of applause for them? Thank you. Just to let you know, they're a wonderful schooner-based tour. They're on the west coast. They go even as far as the Haida Gwaii Islands, which is the home of a special tree called the golden spruce, very unusual. It's also known as the Queen Charlotte Islands, if ever you go that far. It's also the home of the most remote green tourism member so far, so they're the one furthest away. And they do trips, which includes whale watching, otters, orcas, all that sort of stuff, all on a traditional schooner, which is, it's a wonderful experience, which includes obviously sailing as the tide and the time allows. They've helped develop the Wilderness Foundation. They're great ambassadors for green tourism, and they're based in Vancouver Island. They're very knowledgeable about issues relating to British Columbia, from the oil pipelines, if you've read about that are planned, to grizzly bears and the threats to the wild salmon industry over there. So there's a lot of issues that they're aware of, and some real challenges. They can't be here, but we're going to send them their certificate, so hopefully we can do some press before Christmas. But the winner of the first gold star in Canada is Blue Water Adventures. Could I ask Stuart Park? You're going to have to come forward to collect the award off Satish. That's good. I asked Stuart to do this because he was the assessor who visited the site. Obviously, it's difficult for someone to come over from Canada for an event like ours. But we're going to do some press with Green Step once we get the award across to them by post. Just to let you know a bit more about Blue Water Adventures, they're a great business. They've been carbon neutral since 2007. They support the Great Bear Rainforest Carbon Project. 1% of their profits go to charity. It's quite a nice initiative. They have a program in Canada called 1% for the Planet, which is a way of passing profits on to charitable good causes for the environment. They work with a program called OceanWise, so if you do go to Canada, make sure you always get salmon and turbot and halibut, which has got the OceanWise certificate, because that's the Canadian label for sustainable fish. They use First Nation guides. They've replaced their 30-year-old diesel engine with a $100,000 high-efficiency Cummins engine, which has saved 20% in their carbon emissions, so they really are a good good business. So if there is anyone here or on the live stream, I do recommend British Columbia. And if you do visit anybody over there, please do send us an email or a postcode. We really would like to hear about your experiences and to share how we're working together. Okay, that's the holiday in Canada over. Now back to Britain. Okay, on to the Gold Star for Bed and Breakfast and Guest House. Now this is a hotly contested award as well. See, we've got some super businesses here. And the whole of the UK is well represented. The highly commended goes to Bryn Bella. Please could we have a round of applause for Joan and Mark Edwards. Bryn Bella have their own team of free-range chickens. So they've got chickens. They're also on green electricity, which is, I believe, good energy. So that's good. They have an electric charging point with Zero Net, which is one of the suppliers. They are also the winner of the best business in Snowdonia National Park. So they've won that accolade. So it just shows you that sustainability, quality, it all comes together. These are the best businesses. Every online booking includes a donation to the Help the Heroes charity, and they've saved 18% of electricity and now 22% in 2013, water's down by 35% and oil by 23%. So really congratulations there. That's a great achievement. This year's Gold Star, though. This year Gold Star winner is the Rumbly. Could we have a round of applause for them? Now, sadly, no one from the Rumbly could make it, but if I could ask Duncan Bryden to come forward, please, to pick up the award on behalf of the Rumbly. Now, oh, that's good. Keep up with the music, Duncan. Come on. Oh, I like this. It's getting fun. Okay. I'll tell you a little bit more about what they do. They also have chickens, B&Bs and chickens that go really nicely together. They have a few other things. They have a biomass boiler. They've saved 9 tons of carbon dioxide with that. 20 PV panels. They're avoiding 4 tons of carbon dioxide. They actually compost 0.5 ton of waste per annum through a hot box composter. And they support Trees for Life, sponsoring 20 trees in 2013. They also do a really nice job, which is they're active in social media and they congratulate every single green business that gets a gold award. Now, that's a really nice touch, I think, and something really positive that they do, just because they want to support everybody in green tourism. They also sponsor a leatherhead turtle with the Marine Conservation Society and a European bison at the Highland Wildlife Park. Which reminds me of an old joke, actually, so I'm going to share this with you. What is the difference between a buffalo and a bison? Do you remember that one? You can't wash your hands in a buffalo. Yeah, it's a terrible joke, isn't it? It's absolutely. Andrea said that was the one that was going to kill you, but obviously it's just Andrea that's going to kill me, isn't it? That's right. Anyway, they do have a very nice bison there. It's actually made of bamboo. It's a bamboo bison, for washing hands, and it's a very eco option. So they're very good for that. So worth a visit to the Rumbly. If nothing else, you can talk to them about bisons. Right, self-catering. Now, this is probably, as you can see with the list, it's the most competitive category. We have lots of very committed people and great businesses in self-catering. So the highly commended, without further ado, goes to Higher Wiscombe. Please could Alistair and Lorna Handyside come forward? Now, Higher Wiscombe, what was I going to say? Okay, they've got 150 kilowatt biomass boiler, 46 tons of CO2 have been saved. They're planning a 15 kilowatt PV array. They have UV treated spring water. They've eliminated palm oil from the business, so that's not in soaps and detergents and in the welcome food hamper, so that's good. They've raised £6,000 to help the heroes, £5,000 for Macmillan Cancer. They also support a charity in Africa to replace kerosene lamps for PV LED ones, and they've raised £2,000 for that and changed over 100 lanterns. So some really nice actions there. The other highly commended, we have a second highly commended, that goes to Cranmer Country Cottages. Could we have a round of applause for them? Now, sadly, they've also got a long way to come, but they've also done some. They've not managed to make it today. They've reduced their carbon emissions by 80% since 2008. Carbon has been reduced from 115 tonnes to 27. They've invested over £275,000, saving £180,000 a year over 5 years. Oh, £180,000 over 5 years, and now get a £51,000 a year. I think it must be a FIT payment, one of these energy payments over the next 15 years. So the business has wood chip. They have a Twitter account, which is Green Room Cranmer, if you want to look at that. They've planted over 12,000 trees on their farm. So they've really done some great things. And I won't mention the 40 kilowatt solar array and the 16 kilowatt heat pump and so on and so on and so on. So anyway, they're great business, brilliant business, but they're not the winner. No, they're not the winner. The winner for this year's Gold Star goes to Hoe Grange Holidays. Please would David and Felicity Brown come forward? Okay, I'm going to embarrass them a bit about how much they've done, but they have a 10 kilowatt wind turbine producing 30,000 kilowatt hours per annum. They have not just a standard PV solar system, they have a solar tracking system. They save £2,500 a year on that. They have a ground source heat pump, 16 kilowatts. They have 2 electric charge points. They're big fans of a cleaning product called Splosh, which you might not have heard of, but a great product. It's a very interesting product. They have an outdoor log-fired barrel sauna. So, I mean, they sound like a wonderful place to visit. They even hire out an off-road wheelchair for anyone that's enthusiastic and wants to try that. I mean, it's an incredible business. It just shows you how they're developing and how businesses are being both low-carbon, green, but also very inclusive. So that's great. But that's not all. No. We have a joint winner for Gold Stars. And that goes to Merlin Farm Eco Cottages. Please, could we have a round of applause for them? Now, sadly, Merlin Cottages haven't been able to make it. They have a 50 kilowatt. Oh, they're here. Oh, sorry. I apologise. Sorry. All right. I'm glad they're here, and I'm sorry I don't know. Oh, right, great. Okay. Anyway, everyone else knows what you're doing, so that's fine. It's only me that doesn't need to know. That's the way Andrea likes it, isn't it, Andrea? Anyway, they have a 50 kilowatt PV system. They've planted their own biomass woodland, not just an individual tree. They planted a whole woodland. They have also developed a thing called Nature Detective, so that's great. They've saving 8 tons of carbon dioxide per cottage. They include a dog poo eco-composting system, and they get 20% of their bookings because they are an eco business. So that's a very clear set of bookings they're getting for their environmental things. So that's really good. They're also looking at working with getting a hydro scheme linked with compressed air storage, which is also interesting. And they have a DIY sedum roof, a straw bale construction, stable block. I don't need to say more. Right. On to activities. Right. Activity centres represent some great experiences, and it's a continuously developing theme as entrepreneurs develop new and exciting activities. Highly commended goes to Newlands Adventure Centre. Please, could Debbie Beaumont come forward? Now, they've done a lot of good things, but they've increased their business from 5 to 6 buses. But they've managed to save £4,000 in fuel in doing it. So they've managed to rationalise the amount of the use of buses in terms of transporting people around. Despite the water prices increases, they saved £72 in water, £4,000 in gas between 2013 and 2014. They've dry-lined the bedrooms, they've reduced heat losses, they've got push switch for lights, they've been featured on Green Days Out website. They've got lots of great feedback from schools and other groups that work with them. They even have a green policeman who makes sure staff and guests do the right sort of thing, as a bit of fun, I believe, so that's good. They grow all their own vegetables. They support the local Keswick brewery, and even gin and vodka comes from the local Keswick distillery. So I think that's quite interesting. I didn't know Keswick had a distillery, so that's something new for me. Obviously, it's not for the children's groups or whatever, it's just for the other groups. But they've planted lots of natives. They've got 200 bluebells, 14 trees, fruit trees, and 60 cherry trees. So, and they've been promoting us as Green Tourism live on air through BBC Cumbria. So that's great. So anyway, but there is a gold star. And the gold star this year goes to Surf Southwest, based in Cornwall. Please could we have a round of applause for them? Sadly, no one's made it up from Cornwall from Surf Southwest, but they are a great business. They're very active with Surfers Against Sewage, which, as you perhaps know, was one of the first real grassroots green initiatives dating back to the 80s, maybe even before that. They have a 20 kilowatt PV solar array. They've saved about 2 tons of carbon dioxide with that. They've reduced their business mileage by around 1,000 miles a year. They do a discount for public transport, which is very popular. Rainwater butts used for washing their surfing equipment. And they've developed joint working with other green tourism businesses. They work with the local holiday park. They do rock pool rambles, dune conservation. And they've also been working with a program called WAVE, which is to help vulnerable groups, mental health, children's social services. And in fact, what they've managed to do, which I think is another good thing, they've managed to get all great British surfing schools to adopt a green policy. So that's thanks to them, their lobbying and their activities. So they're a great ambassador, and they are encouraging the local accommodation to join green tourism as well. So that's great. But that's not all. No. There's another side, which is also outstanding, but very different. So we have another gold star. And it goes to Blencathra Field Study Centre. Please could George Basant, Janet Elliott, Paul O'Brien and Tim Foster come forward, please. Okay, we're missing 3 of them, but anyway, sure. All the field study centres, if you know them, they embed environmental education into their philosophy. They're outstanding. They have been doing environmental education since the 1940s. That makes them 70 years old. I mean, they have been such a pioneering organisation, so they really deserve congratulations. I remember as a student, I was at Slapton Lay. I went to Slapton Lay for one of my field courses, and that was a great experience and helped me on my sort of green journey. So Blencathra do a great job. And so do all the field study centres. They've reduced their carbon footprint by 80%, including a 35 kilowatt hydro project, 300 kilowatt biomass boiler, and they've saved 200 tonnes of carbon dioxide. So that's great. They do various things with the media as well, so that's great. They have partnerships with Nurture Lakeland, John Muir Trust, Sustainable Keswick Fair Trade Association. So they've done some super things. So that's great. Okay, well let's keep moving. On to tour operator. Now, our award for the best celebrates the best UK-based tour operators. So they're not these big, giant, sort of TUI, giant multinational things, but smaller operators. They provide wonderful experiences, and they are in some of the most beautiful parts of the UK. This is the shortlist. The highly commended goes to Sea Life Surveys from Tobermory. Could we have a round of applause for them? Now, it's a long way to come, so nobody's been able to make it this year, so we have to move on. But they've rationalised their boat trips. They've reduced their fuel to a quarter of what it was before. They offer tickets with local transport. They do a regular beach clean-up, which is highlighted on Facebook and Twitter. In fact, they did a shoreline collection on a local beach called Bloody Bay, which included picking up a full barrel of engine oil, a refrigerator door, lots of ropes, and even a chemical toilet. That just shows you, and I mean, this is places that are off the beaten track and so on, but they're doing these great jobs to actually clean up these remote areas. All the skippers are wise trained, and they run a tuck shop with local biscuits, even the famous Scottish Tunnock tea cakes, which you might have seen at the Commonwealth Games celebrations, and of course, Irn-Bru. Now, you've actually got a bottle of Vimto. Hopefully, you've been trying it. So, Irn-Bru and Vimto. Vimto is the Manchester equivalent of Irn-Bru. It is a drink you must try, but it is disgusting. I know that, but try it. Don't let that put you off. Anyway, I won't say anything about Irn-Bru because I don't want to get anyone from Scotland upset, so that's fine. Right. Okay, so that was the highly commended. The winner of the Gold Star It's See and Do Scotland. Please could I get a great round of applause for Dorothy Breckenridge and Margaret Porter. Please could they come forward? Come on, keep it up, that's it. So some good funky music. As they come up, they've been pioneering slow travel since 1984. Can you believe that? 96% of their accommodation on the tours is in green tourism businesses, and they believe GT Green Tourism should not just be for tourism, but for any business. So Andrea, that's something to work on. We'll get there. They're Scotland's longest established walking tour, and like me, only 30 years old. Okay, maybe not 30, okay. All right, okay. They've achieved, just to let you know, a 9% reduction in energy use, and in fact, they gained a new partner in 2012 because of their green credentials, and that this new partner accounts for 40% of their market, of their business turnover. So that really shows, and that partner came because of green tourism. So it shows you there is a big opportunity there if we can work together and help to secure those sort of businesses. Right. They've also been supporting the Peatland Restoration Project through the National Trust for Scotland, another green tourism member, and they've also been recognised as one of only 2 green businesses by Nick Wax, which I thought was bikini waxing, but in actual fact it's feet coat. Just so you know, it's outdoor coats, which is much more sensible than what I thought. So anyway, they also do a thing called Freegal with Sterling. Anyway, that's great. Right, okay. We come on to the final category, and that is the hotel. Now, this is another really tough award. It's been a really difficult process going through who's the best and trying to choose a winner, which is why we mainly promote you as golds rather than the individual gold stars. But it's obviously nice to have an occasion like this. As you can see from the short list, we've got some super businesses, a big list there, and maybe we should take a moment and congratulate them for actually making the short list, because it really is a tough job to be considered the best hotels. But we have a highly commended, so let's do that. And the highly commended goes to the Lancaster Hotel, a previous Gold Star winner. Could Claire Wright and Rado Georgiev please come forward? Now, come on. Oh, I was hoping for some music then, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I was hoping for a bit of music because it's a 1970s hotel, and that's most of the music we've had on today. I don't know where he gets his CDs from, but anyway. But 1970s and super don't always go together, do they? But they are a really super business. They were a bronze award back in, 2010, or maybe before that, when we piloted the program in London. They've reduced their carbon emissions per gas by over 4% this year. They've insulated the coffee makers. They've got a reverse osmosis heat exchanger. They've got reverse osmosis heat exchanger dishwasher. They've got canopy grease capture. Can you believe that? They actually capture the grease off the canopies. They have motion sensors in the ballroom. So as they say in Strictly, keep dancing. All right, well, anyway, that's the last time I'm going to dance. All right, thank you. There's only so much you can take, isn't there? Poor guys. Right, anyway. Right. They've saved 5 kilowatts or 34 tons of CO2 by switching off the primary pumps on their heating system. They've got their own bottling system, electric charge points. They've developed a green calendar. I like that. That's a nice theme. Where they promote different things like Brambley Apple Week, Urban Food Fortnight, and so on. And they have a newsletter called the Lancaster Buzz because of the bees, which we mentioned earlier. They were one of the pioneers with having beehives on the hotel. But we have another highly commended. The other highly commended goes to Bedruthven Hotel and Spa. Please, would Tanya Clark come forward? They're a great hotel. Their energy comes from good energy. They have electric charge points. They've saved over 31 tons of carbon dioxide this year. 30% of staff car share to work. That's great. They have guests arriving by sustainable travel, and if they do arrive by sustainable travel, they get rewarded with a bottle of Prosecco. They do activities like preserve making, wild food walks, surf lessons, football coaching. They do lots of good things. They also supply locally made Polygoon apple juice. And I think that's a really good idea. This is to follow on from what Satish said about the different foods and where we get things from. But so many hotels just supply orange juice. They don't. They've gone the opposite. They say we'll supply a local apple juice, and only if people request will they get orange juice. And that avoids, obviously you can imagine, a massive amount of food miles. So I think that's another action you can maybe take home with you. They also support a program called Buy One, Set One Free. It's an initiative with the lobster hatchery in Padstow, where I assume we were debating this. I was debating this with Natalie, where I presume they don't catch 2 lobsters and then let one go again. That seems kind of crazy, doesn't it? I assume it's something a bit... Well, anyway, we'll have to ask her. Anyway, we'll find. But there is a gold star. The gold star was good, very good, very, very good. I have pleasure in announcing that this year's gold star goes to the Derry Hotel in Northern Ireland. Thanks, that's great. I don't know what happened to the music. Okay, here comes the music. Claire Campbell, this is Claire Campbell coming forward for that, so that's great. It's the first gold star in Northern Ireland, and it's really a sign that Northern Ireland is becoming a really rapidly developing green destination, so that's really good. They're a real beacon for the industry. They've invested in green technology. They save 48,000 kilowatt hours in electricity, 5,000 kilowatt hours from the showers alone. They've updated the BMS. They're saving £10,000 a month by adjustments they've done there. They've got an overall saving of 207,000 kilowatt hours in electricity, which amounts to 100 tons of carbon dioxide, which I believe is about 60 elephants. No, an elephant is 4 tons, so it's about 25 elephants. They've made a gas saving of 226,000 kilowatt hours, which is another 44 tons. And they've now gone from 149 tons of waste to landfill to 0. So they've done some really good actions with their team. They're a very focused organisation. They've gone to green electricity as well and reduced their CO2 by another 538 tons. Telling you a few other things. They've reduced the setup time for the toaster. I'm not quite sure what that is, but they've reduced that. They've also reduced fridges in the bar stores, timers on wine fridges, and they were the first hotel in Northern Ireland to sign up to the Hospitality Food Agreement, so that's really great. They've got an electric charge point. I mean, who hasn't? Everybody seems to have at the moment. They do lots of free PR for the hotel, working with Green Tourism, so they've done a lot of promotion. And they also were the hosts of the City of Culture, so they've had a busy year in 2013. So they've still done all those savings and also increased their business, so that's really good. They also have Derry elephants. I didn't know you knew about that, but they have Derry elephants which are made of towels. So they wrap the towels a certain way, and that's helped reduce the number of towels that people use. So they've done some good things there. Great. Right. Okay, so hopefully that's most of the awards. Please, can we have a final congratulations? Oh, thank you. Please, can we have a final congratulations for everybody who's participated in the Gold Star event? I think we've heard some great stories. I hope you continue to share them. And hopefully we can develop and become one of the world's leading sustainable development programs and save that 1 million tons of carbon dioxide that we talked about. Okay, thank you. Right, we're near the end, but we're not quite at the end. This gold envelope, this is for the People's Choice Award. It's the only award that I wasn't aware of this morning, so it's very exciting for me as well as you guys. As you know, all the shortlisted businesses, so everybody that was shortlisted for a Gold Star, goes towards the People's Choice, and people vote through the website, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully everybody voted. I did. Oswald Steamers? No, I won't tell you who. Anyway, it was Oswald Steamers, but anyway. The voting is over, so anyway, let me open the envelope. Okay, so I've got a few words to say. Out of the total, there were 4,376 total votes. 2,013 total votes were approximately 1,000. I don't know what that means. 2013. Oh, the 2013 votes. Oh, we're 1,000. Okay, sorry. Right. Sorry. Okay. You get worn out by this time of the day. I know you're feeling it. Well, so am I. Anyway, okay. Oh, right. So it's grown massively in public. It would be nice if I'd known what I was going to be saying before I said it. Anyway. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Let's get back to it. The top three. In third place, and can we have a round of applause and a bit of whooping because I've not had enough. Higher Wiscombe, could we please have a round of applause for them? Do you want me to say how much percentage? Okay, they got 5% of the vote, so that's very good. Second, drum roll. Can we not do a drum roll? Oh no, I would ring. Okay, fine. Right, Radisson Blu Portman Hotel. Yeah, great. They got 5.6% of the vote. Okay. And the winner, I think they won by a little margin, was Bryn Bella Guesthouse. Please could we have a massive round of applause for them? Now please can they come forward for their gold award? Just to let you know, just in case you thought you were close, they got 42.8% of the vote. They did a great job. So a great business based in Wales. Trying to think what else we can say about them. Snowdonia, yes. So they're a very good business. Great team. They've won a number of other awards as well, so it's really good to see them win there. Okay, we're not quite at the end. Let me just see what I've got to do next. Right, I need to remind you of something. I need to remind you of next year's event. So you need to put the second Monday in November into your calendars. That's the week after World Travel Market, and it's likely to be in Scotland, we believe. So hopefully you will make it up to Scotland. We'll give you a real Scottish welcome. I don't know what that means these days, actually, but anyway, we will give you a great Scottish welcome anyway. So then, anyway, finally, and to help us end this wonderful ceremony, we have an award that I mentioned at the beginning. Do you remember that? All that time ago? The Extra Sausage Award, yes, that's one. Now, this is for the person who's gone an extra mile with green tourism. Maybe they've been a great ambassador, maybe they've helped us tackle a new market, come up with a new technology, expanded us into a new destination, or developed our services, or helped us develop things further. And as you know, we are very much a team. I think you recognize that. We don't spend enough time together as we would like. We only see you fleetingly every few years. But we do have these events, and we do hope you come to more of them, and we can build this team that we really need if we're going to succeed. As you know, we do run on a tight budget. We don't receive subsidies from government and so on. We don't see that as particularly a weakness. We see that as a strength. It helps us to remain independent and be efficient, obviously. But we do need you, and hopefully you need us. It's only through this efforts of working together that we can really get this relationship with the consumer, because it's very much you that meets the consumer on a day-to-day basis. So this first Extra Sausage Award goes to, I've lost my page, sorry, 46. Ooh. Yeah, do a drum roll while I find the next page. Right. Okay. All right. It goes to someone you may know. It goes to Alistair Handyside. Please, can we have a great round of applause for him? Now, what I want to do is ask Alistair to come forward. He's been an ambassador for green tourism for many years. He's helped establish the quality and sustainability as close bedfellows. So he's always had a very strong quality focus, and he's really been committed to sustainability as well. When he first met Andrea, me and the team, he thought we were a bit green anoraks, academics, campaigners, whatever green mean is. But now he's a genuine green welly wearer. He's a super ambassador for the industry. He's a leader, and a practical, sustainable tourism operator with a site that's also been shortlisted for a gold star, which I don't think, did you make it? No, I think you didn't. Okay, but anyway, he was shortlisted, so that was great. You've heard a lot from me today, probably too much. I'm like one of those noisy gannets in Shetland with my Manchester accent and so on. But so I would really like to ask Alistair, if he doesn't mind coming forward again, as an operator and a lead in green tourism business, to say a few words and bring this award ceremony to a close. So please, another round of applause for Alistair. Thank you.
Gosh, where do you begin? I'd first of all like to start by thanking Lorna and my family, because not every single thing you do trying to be green actually does have a dividend. I know Triodos and banks maybe not want to hear that, but a lot of what we do is because we believe, so thank you. Thanks to you guys. Green tourism has really helped our business, and the value proposition of that can't just be weighed in pounds. So thank you. Thanks for shortlisting us, and thank you for this. The Green Tourism Accreditation Scheme, it's going to take me a little while to get used to that change. I've been part of it with Lorna and the business. It'll be our 10th year next year. So good luck with that change. I think that's very positive. And everybody who wants to become an ambassador, go for that. From the Q&A, I'd like to say a couple of things this morning, just as a round-off. One is we did go to Italy for half-term by plane, which I'm now feeling particularly guilty about after the professor's presentation this morning. But one thing we learnt over there was in the exchange apartment that we had, the maximum amount of power you can use at any one time is 3 kilowatts, which means you can't have the kettle on when the oven's on, or you can't have the dishwasher on when the oven's on. And I'm just going to give you an idea. It took us about 5 minutes to adapt. And you talk about adaptation and mitigation in green tourism. It took us about 5 minutes to get used to that. And we thought that they've all got less power to use, so they use less power. So I'll leave you with that thought on one side. And then the other thing is a thing that you can all do, which is to lobby government, to lobby your national tourism bodies, to market the UK to UK tourists, so that people stay at home. That would be better for the economy, better for jobs, better for carbon, better for green. We've got the quality, we've got the offer. Their job is to get us to stay here, not go abroad. Thank you very much.
Right, you thought you got rid of me, didn't you? Probably hope. But we do have one last thing, and that is some extra prizes that we've done. Obviously, we've heard a great speech and presentation from Satish, and highlighting how, in a way, we're all Earth pilgrims, and we all need to be on that journey to be more sustainable. So what we've done is we've done a quick prize draw for 10 copies of the Earth Pilgrim. So I'm just going to read out the businesses or the people, and if they could come and pick up one of the books from, I think, who's got the books? Stuart, you've got the books there in the box. So if you could do that and pick up your book from Satish, that would be great. So if I, in no particular order, could I ask Rado Gordgiev? You've got one of the books. If you could come forward. Or maybe I'll just go through the names and everyone can come forward as they go. So we've got Radio Gordgiev from the Lancaster Hotel. We've got Rosie Haddon from Little White Alice. Sorry. That's another book. We've got Nigel Reed from Pendragon Country House. We've got SNH 4V National Nature Reserve, Annabelle Drysdale. They've won a book. We've also got Cheryl Waring from the Cheltenham Chase Hotel. So that's great. We've got Celia Grays from the Wellbeing Farm. We've also got Peter Hensman from Ullswater Steamers. Next we've got Lynn Ferrier from Glasgow Caledonian University. and Tracy Robertson from John Muir's birthplace. And finally, we've got, here's the list here, Neil Denbury from the Jurors in Newcastle, if they could come forward as well. That's great. So sorry if you didn't win a prize, but I don't know. I guess I'm handing on to David now, who's going to help round things up, or Andrew's going to round things up. So thank you very much.
Wow, I didn't realise I had such a funny husband. Fantastic congratulations to everybody, and especially to those that won, highly commended, and also the Gold Stars. You really are the very, very best in the UK, and you should celebrate that, and hopefully you'll do a lot of PR and press about it. And if you want the pictures and quotes and whatever, then please get in touch with us afterwards. At the back somewhere, I think we're going to have some sparkly stuff to celebrate. However, I would really like to ask you to complete your feedback form. The dreaded feedback form, however, it was really, really useful to us. We actually changed completely the format of the conference this year because of the feedback. So please do give us as much as you can so that we can try and make next year in Scotland a better and bigger event. I hope you all have a very, very safe journey home. Really fantastic to have you all here. I'd like to say a few thank yous. First of all, I'd like to thank the team in the hotel here, the Palace Hotel. They have been absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And in particular, April McCaig. Is April still here? Can you stand up, please, April? April won the Green Passion Award from the Manchester Hotel Association last week, and she has driven the green agenda not just in this hotel but with the principal Hayley hotels, and I think you're an absolute green champion and definitely someone we want to work with, so thank you very much. And thanks very much to the catering team. They've been fantastic. To Andy Craggs, who's been our helper here today from the hotel. All the preparation, whatever we asked for in terms of green things, changing the menu, putting displays out, all sorts of things. The waste food, which I don't know whether we've got an answer yet about how much, but we'll let you know afterwards whether it's less than 3 grams per person. I would also like to thank the AV team. We worked with them last year, Sounds Commercial, and again we've had fantastic service. They've really kept things moving. They've kept all the presentations in order, and going to put all the stuff on our YouTube afterwards. So thank you very much to Sounds Commercial. And then last but not least, I'd like to thank my team, who've been absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to say that one's been better than the other. However, Jane, I could not have done this without you. You are... Where is she? Jane at the back, absolute star. Every little tiny bit of organisation, every little detail. She even got complimented at registration by a couple of professional conference organisers to say that registration was the best they'd ever seen. So well done to Jane. And well done to all our team. Natalie in particular with helping with the Gold Stars, David helping with the compare, the 2 stewards with doing all the work on the stage and with moving people around. I think it's been absolutely brilliant, and I'd really like to say thank you, Sandra, as well, for coming in at the last minutes and helping. Thank you. And especially to John, because it wouldn't be Green Tourism Conference without John, so thank you very much. And then last but not least, thank you again to our speakers, Satish in particular for coming again this year. I think the others have actually all left, but thank you very much to all our speakers for making this a really special event, and we hopefully see you all again next year in Scotland. Have I missed anybody? No, good. Thank you everyone, and safe journey, and get a drink. Thank you.